If you've ever received a letter from the IRS, you might have experienced a rush of anxiety. The IRS can sometimes seem like a mysterious and intimidating agency, but not every letter it sends is cause for alarm. Many of these letters are routine notices which, when understood, can be easily addressed. Understanding what these letters mean is crucial for staying on top of your tax responsibilities and avoiding costly mistakes. In this video, we will break down the top 10 IRS letters and explain what they actually mean, helping you navigate the sometimes confusing world of tax communications. 1. IRS Letter 503, Final Notice of Intent to Levy. One of the most serious IRS letters is Letter 503. This notice is a final warning that the IRS intends to take collection action to recover any outstanding tax liabilities. A levy can involve garnishing your wages, taking money from your bank accounts, or seizing property. However, before a levy is enforced, the IRS is required to send a notice. If you receive this letter, you should immediately take action by either paying the outstanding balance, setting up a payment plan, or contacting the IRS to discuss other options such as an offer in compromise, OIC, or currently not collectible status. 2. IRS Letter 1040, Request for Information or Missing Information. If the IRS notices discrepancies or missing information on your tax return, they may send you Letter 1040. This letter is typically a request for you to provide additional information or documents to support the numbers on your return. The IRS could ask for things like proof of income, deductions, or credits. Don't ignore this letter. Respond promptly and accurately to avoid delays in processing your return or possible audits. 3. IRS Letter 2800C, Notice of Proposed Adjustment. Letter 2800C is typically sent when the IRS proposes an adjustment to your tax return. This could happen if the IRS believes there was an error or discrepancy in your filing, such as incorrect deductions, unreported income, or a miscalculation. The letter will explain the proposed changes, and you have the opportunity to agree with the adjustment or provide additional evidence to dispute it. Ignoring this letter could lead to further penalties and interest charges. 4. IRS Notice CP14, Balance Due on Your Tax Return. If you receive IRS Notice CP14, it means you owe money to the IRS for your taxes. This notice will typically be sent after your return has been processed and indicates that there is an outstanding balance. The notice will detail the amount due, including any penalties or interest that have accrued. You'll be instructed on how to pay the balance or set up a payment plan. Make sure to take immediate action, as ignoring this notice can lead to more severe consequences, such as levies or liens. 5. IRS Notice CP22A, Refund Adjustment. If your tax refund was reduced or adjusted, you'll receive IRS Notice CP22A. This notice explains that your refund was modified due to an adjustment made by the IRS. This could happen for a number of reasons, such as correcting math errors, applying your refund to a past due balance, or other discrepancies. The notice will include details of the adjustment, and if you disagree, you'll have the chance to appeal or provide further documentation. 6. IRS Notice CP501, Reminder of Unpaid Taxes. Notice CP501 is a reminder that you have unpaid taxes. If you haven't responded to previous notices, the IRS may send this letter as a final attempt to inform you that your account is overdue. While this notice is less serious than a final notice or levy, it's important to address the issue quickly to prevent further penalties or action. You can resolve this by paying the balance due or contacting the IRS to discuss payment options. 7. IRS Notice CP90, Final Notice of Intent to Levy. This is one of the most serious notices you can receive from the IRS. Similar to Letter 503, Notice CP90 is a final notice that the IRS intends to levy your assets. This means that if you fail to respond to the notice, the IRS could start seizing your wages, bank accounts, or other property to satisfy your tax debt. You will typically have 30 days from the date of this notice to take action, either by paying the balance, setting up a payment plan, or requesting a hearing with the IRS to discuss your options. 8. IRS Letter 227, IRS Examination of Your Return. Letter 227 indicates that the IRS is examining your tax return. This could be an audit or a request for clarification regarding deductions, income, or credits reported on your return. The IRS will ask for supporting documentation and will outline what they are looking into. While this isn't necessarily an indication of fraud or wrongdoing, it does require you to respond with the requested documents. Failing to do so can lead to penalties or additional taxes owed. 9. IRS Notice CP16, Proposed Penalty for Underpayment of Taxes. If you failed to pay enough taxes throughout the year, through withholding or estimated tax payments, the IRS may send you Notice CP16. This letter notifies you of the proposed penalty for underpayment. It will explain how the IRS calculated the underpayment and what penalties you may incur as a result. You may be able to avoid the penalty if you can prove that you didn't underpay intentionally or if you qualify for penalty relief. 10. IRS Letter 357C, Refund due to adjustments on your tax return. Letter 357C indicates that the IRS has processed your tax return and that you are entitled to a refund. This notice will explain how much your refund will be and if any changes have been made to your return during the processing. If the IRS made any changes or adjustments to your return, the letter will explain the details. If you disagree with any of the changes or adjustments, you have the opportunity to contact the IRS to discuss the issue. Receiving an IRS letter doesn't always mean something is wrong, but it's important to understand what each letter means and how to respond appropriately. Whether it's a simple request for information or a notice of tax due, addressing these letters promptly can help you avoid more serious consequences. If you ever feel unsure about the contents of an IRS letter or how to respond, consider consulting with a tax professional. Staying informed and proactive will ensure that your tax matters are handled correctly and help you maintain peace of mind when dealing with the IRS.